Actually last lecture which I have talked about, like how the basically the overview of SCSI, how it looks like from the client systems here and till the our OS disk here. So how it looks from yeah, I will just make it bold. So how the flow happens from the host till the target in SCSI. So I will just rename that last session as the session 1, and this is my second video where I'm talking about the SAS or overview and the difference between how the data flow from host to target in SAS as compared to SCSI, which we discussed in last lecture. Uh, so I will just rename this session as a 2, and I will have more and more sessions, like short sessions per feature wise, from the directly from the SAS and SATA specs, so which will give you more clarity and exact overview how the things works under the storage actually. Uh, so here you can see the same like as we discussed last time. This is my host, and this is my system IO bus, where because this is more of like PCIe E and PCIe X bus, because SAS SB is a PCI controller, so it will be connected to all PCI cards are actually connected to these buses to transfer the data. And then we have a target. So here the main difference between SCSI and the flow between the SAS and SCSI is we do have one more, if you remember, or either you can refer to the first session, which does have SCSI bus, because there it can't, it is a half duplex, and it can't talk to the to talk to the target directly. It's not a point to point, so that is the reason we do have one bus, so to talk to SCSI devices. But in SAS is a point to point point to point communication between the target, so we don't need that bus in SAS HPA. So I have listed down some points to remember. It will be very good, like the main points where you can get it from this diagram basically. Like SAS is basically the SAS HBA, like it does point to point bus communication between the devices. It's full duplex. Full duplex means this connection, if you see here, means we can read and send, means target can send data or driver can read at the same point of time. And one more good part here is like the ports also. We do have varieties of ports. Ports are basically every HP will have one or two ports, so that we label as a narrow or wide. I will just come to the differences, how it looks like and what are the differences. And this is the very common topic actually. Everyone asks like what is the difference between both ports, and what are the features actually basically. And also one good point to note is like SAS device ports, right? So it holds one unique 64-bit address, so that is stored in either the device for hardware or firmware. uh, yes, and that is needed actually for communication. So how the communication flow happen here is like basically the SAS HBA will send actually whatever data, whatever write has come, right? So application has initiated a write request, and then driver will get that in CDB format. So it will prepare the command descriptor format will come to the SAS driver, and then SCSI driver. Basically there is nothing like SAS or SATA, so we have like one SCSI driver uh, on the OS, and then those command will be forwarded to the SAS HPA. So when it comes and that command will have destination address definitely, like the whatever whichever target it has to send, so it will forward you to the target. But how it has got that destination address actually, so what happened is whenever reset happens or any reset happens on the system, right? So this target will send all target will send their actually addresses basically to the nearest neighbors. So it can be like all your controller will get the addresses, so it will store those addresses for future communication, like whenever like any client requested, then it will forward to that particular target. Yeah, so this way actually data flows. So I will come to now how the narrow port and wide port looks like and what are the differences. So you can see here, this is my 4 5 says HBA. So it like when it kind of, when it will have 4 5s, right, individually, you can see in a cables also, SAS cables, if you have seen. So if it has 4 wires individually, then those are called as 4 narrow ports. But if it is a one cable, and so those are called as a one wide port. And most of them, like, use cases are like it, you can connect it to either like mostly it is connected to expanders. And then expander, wherever it is connected, right, internally it will have narrow port. Those are called narrow ports only. So what are the basic differences? Like, basically we will have like one more like important difference between both of them is like, when you see is in like separate file, right, so each file will hold a unique SAS address. But in white port, like, you will have 4 ports inside, but all of them will have a same SAS address. So basically you can assume one file is a one link, basically the receiver and transmitter. So yeah, so that holds one SAS address. So that's all. I will come up with few more sessions actually, to cover all the layers of SAS and unique topics that will be difficult to find. Means you can find it, but it will be difficult to find, and I can just draw a simple diagram and try to explain. So stay tuned to my channel. Thank you.